Yes, you said, sir. Should a murderer go to jail for murdering? Absolutely. Should a thief go to jail when he steals? Absolutely. Should a robber pay back the money he robbed? Absolutely. So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did? That's right. That's right.
One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a
I'm in a hell of a hole, was never expected to grow. Just obstacles set in the road, that a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never a home, only a place of captivity, safe facility, hating, disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe the slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting, the trail of my tears is countless. Main fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angel, be ready to rap. Crack in the sky, nuclear missiles and make it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be, slavery for me. And let the whole world see that with them in the cage and safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash, get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom we busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now.
You'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog.
Look, ain't no remorse in my blood slim. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I'm back gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember YAHANNA's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in this body, you fit the Lord, fuck the cartel. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Vondale. Payback's a bitch in a dress, she a bombshell. Revenge is served cold, I just hope they making oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in a world of mad shooters. There was design fire for our babies to pass through it. And the day of our king's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums.
Someday you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
I got you. Let it ride real quick. Look. The city eyes. It's time to vote God. My God, a real nigga. Cause he wasn't no flaw. Posted on the corner like a watchdog. Family secure, got that shot in the closet by the mob ball. Fuck what they heard, tell them it's all true. Be cautious, that foundation falls, it can fall through. They gon' fall. Look, I keep this shit 50 times 2. Ain't no more heart in this game, I'm John Q. Colder than the avalanche, way above average. Offense taste sweet, told him make me an apple tree. Left us in the valley full of bones, this where hope found. Child become a man, dark sands get broke down. Riding through Evanston with Mark Quad. Telling me how them crackers turn his childhood to a ghost town. Poke a stop, nigga, I lay that game down. I feel his pain, cause nothing is the same now. Let my light shine like rain cloud. Glock have a fit like my child, don't tangent. Try to warn them niggas we bear arms like tarantulas. Them other niggas rap, I make anthems. I really see profits under this banner. Made my enemies bow down on camera. Told my design I wanted black and white like a panda. I'm better than that nigga that sunk dirty Diana. Look, I move like a Brazilian, precious cargo. Spirit ancient, but I got a new semi-auto. Wave that bitch around like where's Waldo. Sleep if they won't, I cut through they Z's like I'm Zorro. Hate me for his name, so I gotta keep that steel clutch. Trust me, I'm not what you think. I squeeze till it click like Dorothy when the heels touch. The world got me dumb, I don't feel much. Ride around with Yara, just left the state bridge. Looking for a bitch better than baby's kid. Remember I dropped Quiet Storm, I've been gone ever since. Still in the field, fuck them niggas on the fence, yeah.
Israel. This is the I.S.U.P.K. started on 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. And this is the Brotherhood and Sisterhood class. Alright. So, title of this class is what will make a woman not obey her husband? You know, contrary to popular beliefs, like in today's time, our sisters are taught that to be too independent, to say that they don't need a man for anything, to say that they can get on their own. In actuality, nobody's ever got anything in this earth, on this earth, by themselves. And the way our sisters are raised today, back versus how it was so recently, let's say like in the 1920s and 30s, like our grandmothers and grandfathers, they were a little bit more close fit together. They were a little bit more of the essence of a woman. You know what I'm saying? Understand like the roles of a woman and how she's supposed to conduct herself privately and publicly, how she should raise her kids, who the enemy was. You know, back then, even though they all considered together, back then they knew who the enemy was. Like our grandmothers and great grandmothers, they knew exactly who the enemy was. They knew that they could not look at these so-called white women for support. Now, granted, that's how they birthed certain movements, like the feminist movement, which was for like numerical strength. But back then, our women knew who was in charge. The concept of a good husband, he can lead and take over and relieve like the burdens of like our women today. But in today's time now, our sisters just twerking on the headlights. You know what I'm saying? They just hot girl summer. They're just, it's all about the bag. You know what I'm saying? I know I talk to SHALAM Dash. You know, they're all about the Tanah. Tanah means bag. So now our sisters, they're all about the bag. Who will get the biggest pocketbook? Or, you know what I'm saying? Or nigga, who got the best spicy content? You know, stuff of that nature. But no one ever teaches our women, okay, to find some good husband, you should listen to that husband. Like that husband can take care of you. He can put hedges around you. He be like the do's and don'ts of life, okay? This is how we're going to move forward. This is how we're not going to move. This is how we're going to raise the children. This is how we're going to deal with your family members, my family members. This is going to deal with your boss. So forth and so on. But now, it's all about what we see today. Like, it'll take me 3 classes to go over all the things that our sisters do today or whatever. And don't even get me started on the brothers, all right? I might do another class for the brothers. You know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of evil that come into Israel that causes our sisters or our people to be lost today. Today we're going to focus on our sisters. Also, if you got any questions, just type it in the chat. I'll do my best to get to answer your questions. All right. Now, I ain't forgot about your sister about Seek on Mayo. I ain't forgot about you. So I'm still going to teach class on that. I still got you. All right. So, what do we know today? Or why we think our sisters don't listen to a man? Let's deal with the most obvious. Let's go back to like around the 60s, like the civil rights activists, the civil rights movement, and how they took the men out the house. The scripture speaks about you have to bind up a strong man. And once you take out that strong man, then you can spoil his goods, you spoil his house. Our sister said they don't need a man, primarily because they took the man out the house. They haven't seen what a man looks like. They don't know what a man looks like. All they know is get it how you live. All they know is to be free spirit. All they know is that it's women's rights. Which if you're a black, Hispanic, or Native American, you always had rights. Meaning like this. What we have, what y'all got? Like, we was not oppressing our women. You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't have anything that would hinder our women from having. The only thing women just can't do in the UPK or according to God is teach these scriptures. That's it. Now, granted, okay, we add a little more to it, but we don't let our women fight in our wars. Let the men fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're going to fight the wars. You just can't teach the Bible and we're going to fight the wars. Outside of that, if a woman specializes in something, let her do it. There was a woman started the 501c3 in UPK. There's plenty of women doctors, women lawyers. What else we got? Any other jobs that women have, accountants, managers, CEOs, presidents, so auditors, whatever, chefs, whatever. Like whatever woman specializes in doing as far as a job occupation, let her do it. She just can't teach the truth. And we don't want our women fighting our wars. We want our women at home with the children while the men go out and fight the wars. But outside of that, we have to look at what destroyed our sisters or why they don't obey their man. And now just pick your most recent. You can take your celebrities. You can take Cardi B. You can take Megan Thee Stallion. Who else is out there? SZA. It's a bevy of different female artists out there. I ain't just too keen on all of them. Remy Ma, Nicki Minaj. A lot of them will tell you that privately they will obey their husbands, but publicly in their songs, they don't need a man. All they want to do is shake their tail feather. I'm trying to be PG, got a little one in here. But all they want to do is just shake their tail feather and get the tanah, get that bag. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to go into the book of Genesis. We'll get some scriptures on this. I ain't going to keep y'all too long. We'll go to Genesis, the 2nd chapter. We're going to start at about verse 18. And once we get to that chapter, we'll learn that what happens when men does not take control of his household. When men does not ensure that he should be, I don't want to say, dominant, but it's not the word I want to use. To ensure that he is in control. To insert himself to be that leader. You know what I'm saying? Like a woman requires help. A woman is just an adult child. She will do what a child likes to do. She wants to be safe and fun and be free and do whatever it is. It takes that man to say, okay, you know what? Regardless of your feelings, the answer is no. I must do this to make a hard decision to keep you safe, to keep these children safe. Yeah, it might be boring. Yeah, it might be hard. But it's what's necessary and what must be done to keep this household safe. Because there's a lot of things that happen over the course of these past few decades that make our women not respect us, albeit by hands of our oppressor, also albeit by him taking our fathers out, and then what he pushed down our women to do. You don't hardly see too many, well, to my knowledge, I could be wrong, but you don't hardly see too many white women, entertainers, you know what I'm saying, minus porn stars, of course, like Taylor Swift, you don't see her twerking, you know what I'm saying, telling people she don't need a man, and who else is out there? Kelly Clarkson. I don't know too many white female entertainers, especially the ones in the younger generation today. But you don't see too many of them publicize how they don't need a man. But they push it down our sisters' throat, and then our sisters who look up to entertainers put it into their everyday lifestyle. To say that they don't need a man, to say that they can do without him. In actuality, you can't do without him. Nowadays, our sisters get a man just for their seed, just for their offspring. Once they get that offspring, it's on to the next. Or put them on child support, ruin that brother's life. You know what I'm saying? You ruin other brothers' lives. Like, granted, that brother could have chose better. But I wouldn't say they don't need a man is because They have no compassion. They've been taught not to have any compassion. They've been taught to do what you want. And according to the scriptures, you can't do what you want. All right. So let me get that with y'all. Go to the book of Genesis, the 2nd chapter. Start at 18. Let me get that with y'all. All right, Genesis 2 and 18. All right, that's what we got. All right, and it says, and the Lord God said, it is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him a helpmeet for him. All right, helpmeet. So, right there, it says that man should not be alone. In this particular passage of scripture, he's talking specifically about Adam. He say, man should not be alone. And what are you going to make him a helpmeet? Do anybody know what helpmeet means? All right. Does anybody know what helpmeet means? If you don't, let's just look it up. I prefer the Bible dictionary. I need to bring that one in here. All right. So, if you know what, put it in the chat if you know what helpmeet means. Because a lot of times, it is foreign to our sisters to think of themselves as a helpmeet. A lot of sisters say they go gifts. They're independent. Or say that, oh, Beyonce song, on to the next. It's looked like a, how can I say this? It's looked down upon to say that you are a helpmeet. You know what I'm saying? Some women think of it like they're just being used. They're just only been used for a certain thing that they have, or for certain gatherings, or certain stuff they provide. This way, girl. You have to wait till we leave. I have to get some more, all right? I'll be over in a second, all right? All right, so they've been taught that helpmeet is something that is frowned upon. Like, he's using you. That's one of the favorite words. He's using you. Oh, he's getting over. Oh, you ain't finna help no man. If he can't provide for himself, he ain't good for nothing. So that's what our women are taught. So like that's what our women are taught. But according to the scriptures, she was made for one reason. It didn't say that she couldn't do that in other things, but she was made primarily for one reason. It's to be a helpmeet. Like help that man. So what if the sister is smarter than him? Like she's a heart surgeon and she makes tons of money. And she has tons and tons of investments. She's business savvy and she got it going on as far as with the world with being successful. But that don't mean she can't help that man out. You know what I'm saying? Like when people realize that if society breaks down, you being a heart surgeon means nothing in society if it's just chaos. All those Benjamin Franklins in your purse means nothing if the American dollar has no value to it anymore. All that means nothing if you don't have rope, firearms, know how to hunt an animal, skin an animal, you know, so prepare that animal, non-perishable foods, how to get water, how to clean water, how to camp. None of those things mean nothing to the average woman who says they don't need a man. Anyone who says they don't need a man, or a man ain't good for nothing, if society was to crash, she'll die along with it. She will not survive. You understand? So all that twerking will get her nothing in this world. All right? But to help me, it means a helpful companion or partner, especially one's husband or wife. And that's the closest we get to without the Bible dictionary. All right? Now, it didn't say help that man if he got money or help that man if he pays all the bills. It says it's going to make a man to help me, regardless of how he is in society or rank he may have, down to the lowest, on how much money he got, or how much money he don't have. Every man needs himself a helpmate if he wants to have himself a woman. She used to be the man's and brother's helpmate. And I'm going to go ahead and add a little more to it. You might need to put a scripture for it, a pillow of rest. You know what I'm saying? Like a man needs himself a pillow of rest. That is crucial. That is crucial. Let me go and pull that scripture up real quick. Because we at times, so I'm going to just read it real quick. All right, so pull up and bring up the scripture just a second. Now, go back to Genesis real quick. The Lord thy God said, it is not good that man should be alone. I will make him a helpmeet for him. All right, he said, gonna make him helpmeet for him. Meaning, like the Lord saw that man needed something. The Lord put men in charge to rule and to be made of certain stuff that's not too emotional or that's able to withstand certain resistance. You know what I'm saying? So that's what the Lord has made. So why would our sister not want to obey a man when she's made to be a helpmeet? Like she's made to be a wife. Like women are made to be wives, made to help their husbands and serve their husband. It's just that now today you look at it like it's foreign. Like I saw a post on social media. I'm not sure who made this post or who started, but maybe it's a trend going around. You know, I don't know if a man said it or a woman said it. It might be a woman. It was like, forget calling him babe. I'm gonna call him my Lord. And now a lot of people was like, my Lord, are you crazy? I ain't gonna call no man my Lord, which it seems uncommon today. But back then, it was very common. We just got to get back to taking our culture back so that way things don't seem so foreign to us. Like the more we wear our oppressor's culture, the more our culture seems foreign to us. It seems like it's not cool. It seems like it's barbaric. It seems like it's insulting or anything in that nature because we wear our oppressor's culture so much to the point where like our women does the same exact thing. Long trooper. All right, so what would make a woman not obey her husband when she's made to be his helpmate? We can go throughout history, but I'm trying to keep it on the most recent. I'm trying to keep it in today's time, right after the Civil War. I mean, not Civil War, civil rights. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna try to keep it as in this recent time to show why our women don't obey their husbands and what we got to do to get them back on track. Because we got to get our women back on track because if y'all see our sisters today, Lord have mercy. I mean, them with the LGBTQ and weak men, I mean, we just going to be really doomed without the I.S.U.P.K. Thank the Most High for that. But, we got to get back to like what we think is ours, what's good for us, all right? You know what I'm saying? So, Genesis 2 and 18. Let's drop down to 24. All right, 24. So, as a matter of fact, I'm going to 23. So, as we talk about what a woman is made to do, this in turn will teach our sisters what they're supposed to do when they get a man. One, she was made to be the helpmate, regardless of his financial status, regardless of his rank, regardless of if he was royal or not, if he was, you know what I'm saying, some president or he was just a regular Joe, you know what I'm saying? Well, he's a CEO, well, he retired at the age of 30 and he's financially set for life, or he's a teacher, or he's a psychiatric technician, or he's a nurse, or he's a mechanic, or he details cars, or he might work at a hotel, he might work at Burger King or something. The woman is to be that brother's helpmate. You understand? All right. So now, going over these scriptures, it kind of would help teach our sisters what their roles are to do. So therefore, we can now say, okay, this is why they stop obeying, and this is what we have to do to get them back to obeying their man, their husband. All right. And for those of our sisters who's watching, don't be so alarmed about trigger words like obey. Women feel like we talk to them like a child. Well, some. Y'all act like children, so we have to speak to y'all like children. But in actuality, if you look up the word obey, it just means to be obedient. It means to listen. It means to do as. All right? Same thing if I say, I got to train this. I got to train my rib. Rib will tell me, I ain't no damn dog. Now, okay, you know what? Fine. How about I teach you something? She's like, yeah, that's cool. I can teach you something. And I go back and say, you know what? What does the word train mean? It means to teach. It's the same dang on thing. So don't get so caught up on certain words you feel like they are insulting, which by definition, it means the same exact thing. You're just caught up on the word. But I'm gonna bring back this word so that way our sisters can get used to these words. Like, sisters need to obey their husbands. And you got to train your wives. You got to train your children. You know what I'm saying? If you got a sister and she gets some new job and she's a manager, she wouldn't have a problem if they train on their job. So if she don't have a problem with them training her on their job, why would she have a problem about her husband training her how to be the woman that he needs her to be his perfect husband? You understand? So a lot of sisters get caught up on these trigger words. So let's not get caught up on that. Like, let's obey our husbands. And husbands got to train your wives. Just as simple. Teach them the way they should be according to the Bible. You understand it? Same way you teach your wives, you got to teach your children. Train your children, train your wives. Also, brothers need to get some training as well. If you ain't got no training, there's always counseling. You know what I'm saying? There's different things in the Y.A.P.K we have to ensure that you can have a healthy relationship. You know, so you can be a healthy husband, a healthy wife. You don't have to listen to that counseling. All right. So let's go to Genesis, the 2nd chapter. Let's go with verse 23. All right. So it says, and Adam said, "This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man." Now he's just talking. This is like someone of his family, like bone of his bone, flesh of his flesh. Now, because he had his own family, his own mother and father, and own kinsman, whatever. But verse 24 is going to now expound on that. We're talking about like bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. Because, you know what I'm saying, when you got your mother and your father and you with them, y'all are family. But let's go straight to it. Verse 24. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. Right there, as it says, like everybody, a lot of us had like a mother, father, we're a family. And once you get older, then you get your woman, she get her husband, y'all now become your own family. You know what I'm saying? The house of Darakia, or the house of Karyala, you know what I'm saying, or a house of the shop. You know what I'm saying? Everyone will leave their family and get themselves a wife, how many you may have when you have one or plural or multiple of them. You start your own family, all right? And now, so you will leave your family and you get this wife, get your woman, your helpmeet, and y'all become your own family, all right? Now, why is it so important? Because right there, it's still telling you how a woman never differentiated between who had money or his status in life. She found herself a husband. She got with her husband. They became one family. They're together. All right? Regardless of finance, regardless of the status in life. You know what I'm saying? And that's where you see like the issue of why women don't obey their men today. Because they don't see their husband as a husband. They see him as a sperm bank. They see him as an orgasm. You know what I'm saying? They see him as a purse. You know what I'm saying? They want that financial security. They want to trap that brother in any way that they can. They don't see him as a man that's going to lead them. He's going to provide security, reassurance, guidance. You know what I'm saying? They don't see that man in that light. They only see him like nothing. They only see him like however long he can please them in bed. You understand? All right, so the next scripture we'll go to Mark, the 10th chapter, verse 4. Now, what do we know about why women don't obey their husbands? You understand? Like, why is it that Shalom. All right, so why we think that women, why is it taught to our women now not to obey a man? Do anybody know in the chat? It's a lot. So what people don't know is today our sisters, our women, are taught not to obey their husbands. And it is not by accident that they move and walk and feel that way. Women empowerment, women being equal to men. Yes. That's also a good point. Women empowerment and women being equal to a man. Like when women say they want to be equal to a man, what I never understood was it's two things. One is, why do you want to be equal to a man? On top of that, and then if you make it like racial, the black man has never held women back from anything. Never held her back from anything. So who is your issue against? Because it ain't the issue with black men. The question is like, why do women want to do what men does? Now, Princess, you made an excellent point. But if I could, even white women, that's just a facade. Even white women do not want to be equal to the white man. And I'm going to tell you why. Just take prior to Trump versus Biden, take the previous election when Trump was running against Hillary Clinton, right? And that's when the whole feminist movement was really taking off, and the whole Me Too and all these other women rights, women empowerment, right? Then you take Trump with his old incendiary tone, or the remarks like that, what they say, grab him by the box. You know, like that's just a piece of meat out there. Just take it. You're a lion, just grab that zip. Just grab him by the box. And women was in a whole uproar, right? And check this out. Trump still mopped the floor over Hillary in that election. Why is it when women had the perfect opportunity to put a woman in office, they still chose a man? So could it be, do they really want equal rights? Or is this a whole facade? This is for attention. So that's like one of the questions we gotta ask ourselves. Like, do women really want this to really be equal? Like, when she really wants to run up in the military and get bruises and doing all these kind of push-ups and put a gun on her hip and around her chest and go die for country. Some women is doing it. You know, they think they're a man. You know what I'm saying? But what do women really want? Because if she wants to be equal to a man, there's some things she's gonna have to change genetically that's just impossible. You understand? You know, some women go through so much as far as like taking testosterone and growing a beard, and they cut off their breasts to make it look like a man's chest. They might even sew themselves up, get a hysterectomy. They take out their ovaries and stuff to try to stop them from having monthlies. All that stuff. And even put on a fake rod, and they still fall short of being a man. But there's a certain amount of evil or wickedness that's out there for our women to think that they can be equal to a man. You take the average woman, you take the average man. She cannot beat him in a race. She cannot overpower him. She cannot outlift him. None of those things, right? Now, if you want to talk about women having a high threshold of pain because of pregnancy, sure. But there's just some things that are made for women to do. And there's some things that are made for men to do. And I wouldn't dare ever want to try to be ever want to know what it feels like to be a woman. I ain't made like that. I'm made to be a man, so I'm going to stick to how to be a man. I know some men wants to know the pain a woman goes through. They got like some little device that mimics women having like contractions. And they want to know how it feels to give a birth, childbirth. I have no desire to want to know what it feels like to be a woman. Or how it feels like, what it feels like when a woman having contractions. Whatever she tells me, I will believe. If she says it's unbearable, I believe her. When she says that the pain is too much, she needs an epidural, she needs some pain medicine, she needs some bag of ice, a heating pad, whatever the case is, I believe her. You understand? So that is an excellent point, since that you said that they want to be equal to men. And another time I was to ask women, it's not. Well, so let me read your question. Okay, so give me 1 second while I read this. So why is it that a man actually needs a woman? And the owner to bear children and wait on him and the foot. What is the actual point? Okay. Excellent question, sis. So one of the main points is for a woman to be a helpmeet. Like I said in Genesis, the second chapter at verse 18. The Most High created woman to be a helpmeet. Now, there's a very reason why she cannot be equal. And I'm going to go into Corinthians, because it's just a rank and order. It's the Most High, it's Christ, the man, the woman, then the children. So there's a rank and order. Now, just because there's a rank and order, that does not mean that each rank does not have its own important roles. Yes, a woman can bear children, and men can't. Yes, she was made for that. However, she is the nurturer. She's the one that can keep her husband strong. So when you ask the question, why is it that men actually need women? Well, because men should not be alone. That's what Most High said in Genesis. Men should not be alone. They need a helpmate. Like, what's going to keep this man strong, right? I might have to pull it up for you, because women, how can I put this? Maybe I need to pull up that scripture. Hey, Trooper, let me know if you can find that scripture. It's in the Apocrypha. When there was a king talking, and he was basically saying, like, outside the Most High, the most powerful thing on earth is a woman. Let me know if you can find that scripture and put it in the chat so I can get to it. So when I ain't got to go through all my notes to find it. But men need a woman to be his helpmate, which is what she was created for. Think of it like this. I'm just going over the course of a brief history about what women was actually doing. Look at us in slavery, right? You know, when we outside on that field and our slave masters come, guess who kept him fed at night? Who washed his feet and kept him energized to come beat our backs in? It was a woman that did that. Guess who kept him as being so cruel and evil towards us? It was a woman that did that. Now let's take it in reverse. What kept that brother in like the early 1900s, right around early 1900s, for sure right after the 1870s or whatever, after slavery had ended? Like, what kept that man strong to go out and take the abuse from our oppressor and from the men and women and the children, and kept them up throughout the day, gave him rest at night, gave him the ability to fight, gave him the ability to stay strong? It was that woman that helped me. Like, she rubbed that brother's back. She rubbed that brother's foot. She kept the food hot. Make sure he had food in his stomach when he got home. Holding him a shot of his favorite glass of wine or liquor. It was a woman being that helped me and helped that brother. And a lot of times now, with some of us who have like great inventions, it was a woman that did that. There was a woman that either she invented herself, or she was the key missing piece for her husband of finishing some crafty design. Like, it was that woman who helped that brother to keep that brother upright, to keep that brother strong. So yeah, she's the reason that certain men stay strong. You understand? So that is her role, is to find a brother and help him. Get yourself a good brother, you help that brother out, and he'll take care of everything else. Cause like back then, the way our sisters used to be, the scripture says, like, their feet were so tender it never touched the ground. Like, a woman's feet never even touched the ground. That's not even exaggeration. That's how it was. At the water for that trooper. So let's go ahead and go to 1 Esdras 3:12. And this is in the Apocrypha. All right, so this is, if we go to Esdras real quick for you, sis. This is the 1 Esdras chapter 3, verse 12. I might need to. Give me 1 second. Let me read this. All right, this is 1 Esdras chapter 3, verse 12. And it says, Those men speaking, of talking to the king, King Darius, and all his wisdom. And those people who wrote letters. All right. So if you start off in verse 10, it says, the first wrote, wine is the strongest. The second wrote, the king is the strongest. So they're sitting down and talking about, okay, writing these writings and saying what's to be the strongest or whatever. Verse 12, it says the third row, women are the strongest. Above all things, truth beareth away at victory. Now, when you look at by the woman being the strongest, just think of it in today's time. How many wars were started over a woman? Like, how many children lost their life over a woman? How many men lost their life over a woman? How many people go bankrupt over a woman? Just think about Emmett Till. A woman said he whistled at her, and they would have killed that brother of ours. Because some woman said he did it. He didn't touch her. He didn't look at that filthy dog. But like, women are powerful on this earth. When men go crazy for that box, like, you would lose your life over some box. That's how powerful and how strong women are. So like, if you do not get in control, if you do not put hedges around it, like they'll run rampant today. Such as I see right now, like our women are out of control. There's no order. There's no structure. There's no certain amount of decorum. Like, they're just out of control. Just do whatever you want. Now, granted, our brothers are destroyed as well, and we have not gotten hold of our women black. Slowly but surely, we get there. All right, so let's see. All right, so finish answering your question. Now, when you say wait on him hand and foot, no, if you are a woman who is a go-getter, like if you got a means to get some money, legally of course, and it's going to benefit the family, the husband shouldn't stop you from making those funds, all right? Now, if the husband say, hey, you know what I'm saying, you're working too much and you're not home enough and I want you to come home some more, you should obey your husband. If you felt like it's an issue when you feel like your husband made a wrong decision and you might want your husband to get some counsel, that first, before all that, you just talk to your husband. So, you know, he'll have a reason why he don't want you working as much. It could be a time of the season where, like, the climate of women is coming up missing and you're working overnight and he sleep at night. He might have had the first phone call and, you know, so he don't want you working at night. You know, if he was to take something away from him, for him being the head, he will replace it or provide it for you. All right. So, you know, sometimes as a head of household, you know what I'm saying, that husband is, whether his name on it at least or not, whether he makes more money or not, you should listen to your husband. And also just get counsel. You feel like you don't want to listen, I can say not want to listen, but you feel like you need a little more clarity and you want to get some counsel, get you that counsel, but you should always listen to your husband. Because at the end of the day, you know, you might have to explain some things to him, like to show him the safe side of starting such said business or making this type of investment or whatever. You know, some wives are stay-at-home wives and their husband take care of them. And then it's like then you got the other wives, they are go-getters. They go get that money and they bring it back and the household be wow. Wow means good. So it just depends on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to wait on your husband hand or foot. Like, if you're a go-getter, you go get it. If you wanted to go to school and become a nurse and make that money and break it and benefit the household, go ahead. Oh, you too wild, sis. So, I hope I can answer your questions. All right, so there's a all right, so anyway, so there's a lot of things that you could do that can benefit your household. You know, just talk to your husband and, you know, create like a business plan. Like, a lot of times, if you feel like something is not helping you out right, if you feel like your husband made the wrong decision, you know, come up with like a business plan. Like, show your husband, because some men aren't go-getters. some men don't excel on the realm of like being business savvy or knowing how to operate a business. He know how to. A man come through that door in the wee hours in the morning. He know how to put that gun to this temple to protect their household. He might not know how to run the accounting business. He might not know how to know what a B-52 is on the medical field, as far as like a shot or stuff of the nature, or stuff of mental health. All right. So, but what you can do is, you know, say, show him. Okay, listen. Here's the plan. This is how it's going to work. This is how it worked for the previous people, and X, Y, Z. Like, show your husband like your plans, so that way you don't have to wait on such said hand and foot. But like this, a woman was made to be a wife. She's made to be a husband's helpmate. Help your husband. Like be that extra support. Be that extra vertebrae in his spine. Like help hold your husband up, because he's the one who's going to be protecting you. He's the one who's going to guide you off of it, put hedges around like the do's and don'ts of this household, regardless of how much money you got. All right. So hopefully that answers your question. So now we're gonna go to Mark the 10th chapter, verse 4. If the water for that too, trooper. Mark 10, verse 4. Now, and they said Moses suffered to write a bill of divorce and put her away. Now we get into like with the whole divorce thing. So one reason why women say they don't have to listen to the husband is because they just, in today's time, they can just simply put them away. Oh, you don't like this husband. You don't like this type of, I don't want to call it sucker, but you don't like cherry flavored suckers, so now you're going to get you strawberry or root beer or the dum-dums. Like now, nowadays, they feel like you can just put your husband away. The Christ at the time is talked to, I don't know which one it is, Sadducees or scribes. Whichever one, Sadducees or Pharisees, one of those. But they're trying to check Christ with this scripture right here. It says, and reread it. And it said, Moses suffered to write. Notice the key word, it says suffered. Like Christian church, like they always overlook that word. He suffered. I mean, like, he did not want to do it. This was a hard decision. And it's not a decision he made easy because it was necessary. He just made it because he had, like, almost no choice. All right? Because if you don't know, one of the reasons like this, you know, in Israel, you know, if a woman commit adultery by the Mosaic law, Moses' law, she'd be put to death. And the way Israel was putting away their wives and wives getting new husbands, it'd be no more Israel. It's just something, just putting it plain like that. It'll be no more Israel. The way they just wanted to leave their wife because she agitates them, or she got mad at her husband, she wants to leave him alone and put him away and go get herself a new husband. Or vice versa. You go get yourself a new wife who belongs to someone else, who belongs to another husband. So, Mark says, and Moses suffered to write that bill of divorce. Verse 5. And Yahushua answered and said unto them, for the hardness of your heart, he wrote you this precept. Now, Christ said, for the hardness of their heart, like, you know, so for you thinking that, like, you don't want him anymore, you mad because he don't clean up as much, or he ain't got as much money, or you're tired of him, and whatever excuse that you come up with, they wrote that bill of divorce. Christ said because of the hardness of their heart. All right. Next week we're going to go to Deuteronomy, the 24th chapter, verse 1. For the hardness of their heart, he wrote them this divorce, this bill of divorce. But you know, Christ came to change all that because it wasn't meant to be. Like he wrote it because they were just so hard-headed. They just kept leaving. They kept on putting away their husbands. They kept on putting away their wives. That's why I said Moses suffered to write that. It wasn't something he wanted to do. He did it as an attempt to try to save Israel, all right, by not putting them to death. All right, so if we go to the book of Deuteronomy, the 24th chapter, we're going to write in verse 1. All right, so one of the reasons he suffered that because of what our brothers and sisters were doing back then. So this book of Deuteronomy, the 24th chapter. It says, when a man have taken a wife and married her, and it come to pass, she find no favor in his eyes. Like, what would it mean for her to find no favor? Like, yeah, she just don't like him alone. Oh, he done gained a little weight. Well, she done gained a little weight. Well, he done lost too much weight. She done lost too much weight. You found out she said she was Aquafina. She got the Aquafina flow. You find out she was barely faucet. You know what I'm saying? Like, she ain't what she said she was. Or over the course of time, like, you got bored, you don't see them the same. And that's what it means, like, when you found like no favor. Like, she just stopped liking him. Or he might not be all he was up to be in the bedroom, or vice versa, all right? It says that she found no favor in his eyes because he had found some uncleanness in her. Then let him write her a bill of divorce and give it in her hand and send her out his house. So what could be the uncleanness that he found in her? You know what I'm saying? Like, nowadays people look at it, oh, she eats pork, this uncleanness. Yeah, that's uncleanness, but it ain't enough for you to leave it. Like Christ said, they did it as a precept because of the hardness of their heart. It wasn't meant to be. Which I'm probably gonna bring out the scripture when Christ says, "Ain't no more divorce." But a lot of times, this is what the Christian church will teach our women: that you can just leave your husband. You don't have to obey him. There's your bill of divorce. If you find some uncleanness in their eyes, it can be he don't make enough money. Uncleanness could be in the Christian church eyes. I'm gonna give you scriptures. It can be like you're just tired of them, or you found somebody better. You know, any of those things they would say is like uncleanness in their eyes. Now, according to the scriptures, uncleanness, you know, so it could have been like she could have committed adultery. You know, so she's now doing a homosexual act, or you know what I'm saying, something in that nature, like the uncleanness. He want to put her out the house. You know what I'm saying? If she did some uncleanness or she slept with another man, that is an uncleanness that he can find in her. You know what I'm saying? Not just her being on her monthly either. So those are the few things that you can find that's uncleanness. And therefore, that's when they suffer that bill of divorce. But only when it was adultery. And Christ came to change all that. All right? And it says when she departed out of his house, she can go find herself another man's wife. So right there, it's just showing you that, okay, when they wrote their bill of divorce, they suffered to do that. It wasn't meant so. Most of them did because they hardest of their heart, because they were just too hard-headed. They just never wanted to listen to the laws of how to keep a woman, the laws of how to keep a man, how they're supposed to stay together. All right. And then they also went into Deuteronomy to show how when he found some uncleanness in her, it had to be basically adultery for him to leave her. But it says earlier, Moses suffered to do that. So now, Christ said we can't do it. All right. So let's go to 1 Corinthians 11th chapter, verse 3. So right now, I'm just going over the ranking order, which I kind of already said it earlier to the sister earlier. So I'm just going to get the scripture on it for you. All right. So the scripture is, I'm just giving you the ranking order. All right. 1 Corinthians 11:3. It says, but I will have you know that the head of every man is Christ, which is Yahushua, Mashiach in the Hebrew. And the head of the woman is the man. Well, it says just the man, not the man with the most money, the man with the most status, the man that looks the best, got the best body, he's the most charming, whatever. It's the man, all right? And the head of Christ is God, the Most High, Yahweh in the Hebrew. So that's the ranking order. It's Yahweh, the Most High, then it's Christ, then it's man, then it's woman, all right? And right underneath woman will be the children. So that's just the chronological order of the ranking order of the household, all right? So now, next we're going to go to Ecclesiasticus. We're going to go to the 36th chapter, verse 24. So that's the ranking order. Now, we're having that ranking order there's a way how a man is going to treat his woman. So with the Christian church, they always tell women that you don't have to listen. You're not a piece of meat. You're not a piece of property. Which you're not a piece of meat, but we do say you are possession. Which I'm about to read the scripture right now. The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 36, verse 24. He that getteth a wife begetteth a possession, a help like unto himself, and a pillar of rest. We're going to break that down. First, let's go to the part about a possession. Now, today's time, a woman was like, I ain't no property. I'm a possession. They don't like that term. But look at it like this, sisters. Some men have something in their possession that they had over a decade, but you think is brand new. Like some men cherish the things that they have and they take care of it. Like look how I took care of this jacket, or how I took care of this cover, how I took care of this car, or how I took care of this particular rare Jordans or rare Nikes, or how I took care of this favorite firearm, or my favorite pair of knives. Whatever brothers' collections are. Like, look how they take care of their possession. Like, listen, I took care of this, and I take care of you too. You become my woman, I take care of you. Like, it's just what a man just has. Like, you, that man's woman. That's my possession. That's my proud. That's not my proud. That's my woman. That's my helpmeet. That's my pillar of rest. This is mine. She belongs to me under the house of whatever your name is, all right? So, Scripture says a woman who gets a wife begets a possession. That's his woman, all right? Next it says a help unto himself. It reiterates, okay, like a woman's going to be that help me. And she is to help her husband, not disobey her husband, all right? Last it says and a pillar of rest. Earlier, I was bringing up to the sister earlier about like, you know, normally what it used to be like the man go out to the world, he works, he has to battle like the white woman, and the children, and the white man or whatever. And he come home from being at war with them, spiritually speaking. And, you know, she should be the one that has his food ready, you know, so you give him a back massage, rub his feet or whatever the case may be, run his bath water, like be his rest. That's what it's talking about, like being his rest. So, like, in today's time, you know, some women can make a boatload of money, and she still can be her husband's pillar of rest. You know, she can still come home and give him a back massage, you know, that he had a hard day, or, you know, so he has to go do the work of the Lord. Like some women, they don't even talk about these type of women, and these women are honorable. Women who are financially set or stable to the point where like they can afford to not only work but retire their husband. Like let their husband not work anymore, so that way he can go out and focus on another dream. Or if you're a piece of property at UPK, you can put more work into it, serving the Most High, without having the burden of working 40 hours a week or 50 hours a week. So like those are some honorable things that a woman can do besides disobeying her husband. I think that was a sister, I heard about it on the Wendy Williams show, and they try to clown the sister because she retired her husband. He used to be like a police chief or something, and she retired him, because that man retired from work. So there's a ton of things our sisters can do that could that she can do, especially if she got it. You know, so if she got the means to retire her husband, let the husband retire. So what? That she's working. It's their household. And if that's work best for their household, let them run their household. That's best for them. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of women who are trying to do good, but the main thing is we have to now teach our women they have to obey the husband, how to find a good husband, and for husbands not to abuse their women or abuse their power. All right. So next, if we go to another scripture, we're going to the book of TITHES, the 2nd chapter, verse 1. And what I want to leave y'all with is this, that we have to be the ones that now train women how they should be. We now have to be as husbands and fathers. We now have to we now have to show women, okay, this is how you're supposed to live. Like, we now have to come back into that household to show a child this is what a father looks like, this is what a mother looks like. So that way when she leaves, you know, for her own family, with the assistance of her father, how to pick out a good husband. You know what I'm saying? The father will have to do that as well, but at least she can make the work a little bit easier for her father. You know what I'm saying? Like, she should know how she should obey. I'll say con out of one con. You know what I'm saying? Like how to serve a man, say her Lord, or you know, something like that in that nature, you know. How to be a good mother, how to be a good wife. You know what I'm saying? Like, if she's a go-getter, let her go get it. Go get that money. It's all right, I'll be right here. You know what I'm saying? And if he gonna be in the house, he gonna be in the house. If he gonna do the work of the Lord, or give some type of gig, a part-time gig, or whatever the case may be, let him do it. You know what I'm saying? So that's whatever it takes to benefit that family in that household. So y'all should come together as a whole, surmise a plan, and hustle to make sure that everybody has their own intricate role and how they're going to keep their family moving forward. But we got to get into the reason why our women don't obey their husbands, because society has taught women not to. And now it is popular as our entertainers is to make songs that goes against that. And here's why I got to get onto our entertainers now. In particular, Cardi B. I don't know if you noticed, but like Cardi B make all kind of erotic songs and slut bucket songs and stuff of that nature. But what people don't realize is this: Cardi B will not let her children, her daughter, listen to her music. It's not by accident, because she knows that that is a lifestyle that is not suitable for a child. It's not suitable for a grown woman to conduct herself. She's just making that track because it pays her bills. It allowed her to retire her mother from working father, and now her kids will be financially set when they get up in age or whatnot. So she understands that that lifestyle of letting twin men go run a choo-choo train on them and all this other wickedness or whatever. She knows that that's not a lifestyle. When she says she don't need a man, she knows she needs a man, but she would not let that little child listen to it. But your child can listen to it, because your child needs to grow up and buy her music and say that they don't need a man so she can get rich. While your daughters out here being single and saying they don't need a man and putting men on child support or getting many husbands and whatnot. So that's not how our women should be. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a reason why they don't do it. It's because of society. It's because of they took the men out the household, and now this is what we got. Women raising up men and women, and this is what we got. We're LGBTQ, we are single, we are Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B, so we got all these different types of songs. And the brothers as well, who making up these same type of songs, who teach us to throw our women away. All right, it's a lot. But we can stop all that overnight. Well, sister's kind of hard-headed. Maybe it takes like a month or two. But we can stop in a month or two, you know what I'm saying? We can get our sisters back on track as we get our brothers back on track. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's some women, they're just whores, and we can just have to, we can't be Captain Saber whores. We're going to have to just leave them for the streets. That could be a snare. We just have to stop talking to them. We're going to have to train the women up and say, look, this is how we want to be talked to as a woman talk to her man. This is what we're not going to allow. And we got to show our people, and we got to train our young daughters of how to speak to a man, like how to not be so loud, how to have respect for him, how to choose a man that's worthy of having that respect. You know what I'm saying? Because Scripture was talking about, like, you are the man to help me. All right, so now let's get into some of the good stuff. This is the book of Titus. If we go down to the 2nd chapter, verse 1. It says, but speak thou the things which become sound doctrine. Like sound doctrine. Anybody know what sound doctrine is? Sound doctrine is, it's solid. It's no holes in it. Now, the Christian church, they might get one, maybe two scriptures correct. IUIC, GMS, they may know 2, maybe 3 scriptures. Now give them one more scripture, they know Master Scripture Church. But the I.S.U.P.K, the Israelite School of UPK, we got all the truth. We got all the answers. We got a sound doctrine. There's no holes in it. All right? So, it says, verse 2, that the aged man be sober, grave, temperate, sound in faith, in charity, and in patience. Verse 3, the aged woman, likewise, that they be in behavior and becoming holiness, not false accusers, not giving much wine, teachers of good things. Like false accusers, like, oh, Lord have mercy, the sisters do that to a T. All that gossiping, I heard he said this and you ain't that. It's talking about like how women shouldn't be. So you gotta have this sound doctrine to know exactly how to treat someone, how to talk to someone, how to conduct yourself in a good business manner, all that, all right? It said not be false accusers, not giving too much wine, like, don't get sloppy drunk. Like, no one likes anybody drunk. But drunk women, especially Edomite women, they are the worst. You got them heels on, the tight dress, you're falling all over the place, you're exposing yourself. Then you want to fight with your heels on, fight with your heels off. You can't walk. Like, don't be a drunkard. Like, don't lie, don't accuse about nothing. Like, be a good woman of good charity, of good patience, all right? And these are the qualities we now have to teach our children, have to teach our wives what to have. All right? So it says, the teachers of good things, verse 4, that they may teach the young women to be sober and to love their husbands and to love their children. Like sometimes now, women will have to teach women. So especially if you got sisters in the truth or in the school and they've been in the truth for a little while, they had to teach like some of the younger women, okay, like this is how you come up, this is how so you serve the brothers, and this is how you be a good wife, and this is how you whenever the time is right, you get permission from the head to court that brother, or whatever the case may be, or if he was interested in a particular brother. You can teach them how to, like, if you don't know how to teach them how to cook, teach them how to sew, like give them new skills, new trades to learn. That can benefit the school, that can benefit her husband, that can benefit their family. A lot of times, sisters learn from sisters, all right? Like they got that women stuff, they got that women stuff that they already know, So stuff in that nature. But, like these are the things that we got to come back to. Like we have to teach our people the way they should live. We got to teach our wives the way they should live. So we already know that in the 1960s, our oppressors took the men out of their household, all right? And this began the downfall of why women don't obey their husbands, why women don't listen to their husbands. And they put us in movies, and they gave us all these different type of groups or activists, women's rights, B2, LGBTQ plus community, slut shaming, slut walking, different songs. All they put entertainers in front of it that tells us or encourages us to not be in a healthy relationship. And when those same entertainers, they want themselves to have a healthy relationship. So the reason why they don't obey is because they don't know what the role of the woman is. Once you teach them what her role is, then we can start getting her to obey. And don't let her get caught up on these trigger words about the word obey. She should listen. We got to train her. We got to teach her. We can start now, and it'll take a few months. Some things you can do overnight, but some things it might take a little process. It might take like a month or two. But what we know now is that since our entertainers are on the front for it, of like our women disobeying their husbands, now we got to address our entertainers. Okay, listen, you made a song about you don't give an F about tomorrow. You don't care about tomorrow. Why don't you get yours today? No, you might not make it to tomorrow. So now we got to encourage our women to get theirs today. Like go get it today. Get yourself a husband. Listen to that husband. Your husband feel like your husband holding you back, go to counseling. Like us in the Israelite school of UPK, we got counsel that can help, that help governs that relationship, that helps make sure the brother's being honest, make sure that the brother's not overusing his power, to make sure that he's put things in place that'll move that family forward. Now, if you got to be a good compassion, just like I said in Titus, it says that the aged man be sober, grave in temperament, sound in faith, and charity, and in patience. Like, we got to be patient with how we deal with our women. We got to be patient how we deal with our children. We got to be patient how we going to now change and mold. This helped me to be the beautiful flower that she was born and destined to be. Because everyone was made to be a helpmate. She's made to be a wife. She's made to be with somebody. And that's one of our first things. Go out and procreate, all right? Whether you have the ability to or not. You understand? So, yeah, and the women, they got to be teachers of good things. Like now, Cardi B, she might teach her daughter privately the good things of being a woman. But her music says she's telling our women to be horrible creatures. We cannot be hypocrites, you understand? So we got to get back to showing our women how they're supposed to be by defining what a woman is or what her role is. You are the help me. So now let's get their help. All right, that's going to conclude this Brotherhood and Sisterhood class, and I hope I answered all your questions y'all had, and hopefully sisters can take this as an insight of why women don't, and what the scripture that I brought out is why women should. Why they should obey their husbands, why they should be there for their husbands, all right? It's not about that money. Please, we got to get past this society saying that men has to have all the money. A man has to be a provider. Provider of what in particular? Society says it has to be finance. The scripture doesn't say finance. He just has to be able to provide for it. And that leadership or the things that the man can provide cannot be weighed by monetary values or monetary gains. You cannot judge a man's value based on his riches. I can tell you one reason, I can tell you why. It ain't about just the money. Jeff Bezos got divorced, didn't he, right? He's a billionaire. Multi-billionaire, hundreds of billions. He lost his woman. Who else? I'm not sure if Bill Gates got divorced, but I know Jeff Bezos got divorced. Steven Spielberg been divorced. Who else got divorced? There's plenty of billionaires and billionaires who get divorced and then women leave them. All right. Dr. Dre lost his wife. She divorced him, and he's paying a ton of money. So money is not the answer. Don't let women lie to you, say that it's all about the money, because we all know that one of the greatest smooth talking whoremongers is a pimp. He ain't got the money, but he makes the women go out and get that money and give it back to him. There's a ton of men who don't have any money and get one who got some money. Don't let our sisters lie to the men or let them say it's all about men having money when it's just a lie. It's a defense, sure. It can be looking like protection, sure, absolutely. But it ain't just about the money. It's about that brother. And we got to now, when you get your woman, if you got one already, now you got to start teaching her and training her the things you want her to do. The things about the help that you need, all right? And with that, I say, this is a priest and officer Darakia. This is a Tuesday class, Brotherhood and Sisterhood. I would say, Yahweh Bashin, Yahweh Shabbat to all the brothers. Yahweh Shemar Al-Thab, Bashin, Yahweh Shabbat all the sisters.